Hey everybody, it's Tony Schiavone of All Elite Wrestling, and this is True Hill Heat, and I said it right, you motherfuckers.
Hello. It is me, your True Hill Phenom, SP3, back once again with some content here on the YouTube channel, True Hill Heat YouTube channel. Specifically, we are here to list the top 10 best matches of AEW Full Gear Weekend. It was a special weekend. I think this weekend had as many shows as like SummerSlam weekend that we've done in the past, listing the best matches from that weekend. We've listed the best matches from WrestleMania weekend. For AEW Full Gear weekend, we had massive amounts of shows. You had GCW, had the Aura show, you had Stardom with their Gold Rush 2022 show, you had New Japan and Stardom teaming up together for their first co-promotional show, historic crossover. You had Impact, Overdrive, WWE SmackDown, and AEW Rampage all on Friday night. And then, of course, Saturday night, AEW Full Gear from Newark, New Jersey. We are going to list the top 10 best matches from this weekend. Of course, we want to hear from all of you, True Hill Heat YouTube channel. Even with our pre-recorded content like this one, we love to hear from all of you, and we wish that you all have a happy Thanksgiving, happy holidays from all of us here at True Hill Heat. Hope that you're eating well. Hope you're eating a turkey leg as you're watching the top 10 best matches of AEW Full Gear Weekend. But we want to hear from you if you're watching us on the premiere, if you're watching us on demand. Watching us on the premiere, let us know in the live chat your favorite matches from AEW Full Gear, Stardom and Stardom Gold Rush, New Japan Pro Wrestling Stardom, Historic Crossover, GCW Aura, SmackDown, Rampage, Impact Overdrive. Let us know in the live chat if you're watching us on demand. Let us know in the comments down below. We appreciate you all for watching this video, whether you're watching us on the premiere or if you're watching it on demand. Show your appreciation back by the simplest thing: dropping a thumbs up on this video. Share this video with all your wrestling fans, friends, and family on all your favorite social media platforms. If you are new to the True Hill Heat YouTube channel, hit that subscribe button, hit the bell to stay notified for all the great content here. I got on patreon.com/True Hill Heat, a nice little weekly or monthly thing that we're doing over at Patreon is a new show called The Countdown. I got my first edition of that coming up this weekend. So you got some content over at patreon.com/True Hill Heat. So go over there and check that out as well. And hit the bell to stay notified for all the great content here. Tomorrow we'll be live once again on the True Hill Heat YouTube channel, 1:05 p.m. Eastern Time. AE Ramble on a special Black Friday edition with myself and Jimmy reviewing AEW Dynamite from last night. We're going to break down all the action tomorrow. True Hill Heat 202 with Dedrin. Dedrin's going to be joining us from House of Wrestling. So going to have a good time with him on Saturday. And then, of course, Saturday is also Survivor Series, a Survivor Series War Game. So join us live for the watch along for Survivor Series War Games for that. So you got plenty of great content here on the True Hill Heat YouTube channel. But I just decided, I was like, I got to give them something good, some content on Thanksgiving. So I pre-recorded this. So let's get into it. The top 10 best matches of AEW Full Gear Weekend. First up, let's talk about the honorable mentions. From SmackDown, you had Ricochet and Mustafa Ali in a SmackDown World Cup tournament matchup. These two guys put on a high-flying spectacle there. That was a lot of fun. From Impact Overdrive, you had Trey Miguel winning the X Division Championship in the tournament finals against Black Taurus. Kind of like your high impact, high flying, as well as just big moves back and forth between those two men. That was a lot of fun. And then from AEW Full Gear, the final honorable mention, Toni Storm versus Jamie Hayter for the AEW Women's World Championship. So much fun and the right result with Jamie Hayter getting the victory. Now, let's get into the top 10 best matches of AEW Full Gear 2022 weekend. And we're going to kick things off with number 10 from AEW Full Gear 2022 0 Hour. You had your boy, New York Eddie Kingston, going one-on-one with Jun Akiyama. These two men just brought it. They had themselves a hard-hitting affair. Eddie Kingston said that he was going to bring a matchup that all the greats of the King's Road would appreciate, and I'm sure they appreciate what Eddie Kingston and Jun Akiyama accomplished here. You had Akiyama pulling out a lot of his big moves. You had the power driver, the big knee strikes, the big knee drops. You had Kingston bringing his hard-hitting stylings, and in the end, hitting the spinning back fist for a second time to defeat his idol, his hero from All Japan Pro Wrestling, Jun Akiyama, and the display of respect afterwards. Well deserving to be on this list at the number 10 spot. But we move on to number 9 on our list of the top 10 best matches of AEW Full Gear weekend. And we move over to Impact Wrestling, Impact Overdrive from Friday, November 18th, and the main event of Josh Alexander defending the Impact World Championship against the former X Division champion, the man who invoked Option C, Frankie Kazarian of AEW. These two men went out there and for nearly 30 minutes put on a war of attrition. You had some great near falls, some great action, back and forth, pulling out ankle locks, different submission moves, different callbacks to each man's past, and a very emotionally driven matchup with Frankie Kazarian kind of showing the storytelling and, you know, all the experience that he has obtained throughout his legendary career, you know, trying to think, does he want to do it the right way? Does he want to use the championship belt? In the end, Josh Alexander pulled out the victory with the C4 spike. The show of respect afterwards definitely had the crowd on their feet for this matchup, and definitely a standout match in what's been a legendary reign for Josh Alexander with the Impact World Championship. And then the cherry on top after the match, one of the best angles Impact Wrestling has pulled off this year, with Bully Ray showing his true colors and threatening to power drive Josh Alexander's wife on the concrete floor if he didn't hand him the Impact World Championship. Great match, great angle, definitely deserving of the number 9 spot on our list. But let's move on to one of my favorite numbers, number 8, Kobe Bryant from NJPW X Stardom. Historic crossover. You had Will Ospreay defending the IWGP United States Heavyweight Championship against Shota Umino. These two men have went at it on 2 separate occasions in Revolution Pro, as well as New Japan Pro Wrestling Royal Quest 2. And they brought the elements of those 2 matches to this match here. The stoppage, the referee stoppage win for Will Ospreay at Royal Quest was addressed when Will Ospreay started laying down the elbows to the back of Shooter's head. And then Shooter trying to stop his father from ringing the bell. His father worrying about the health of the performers in the ring. But not only that, the health of his own damn son. Shota Umino, this led to a great comeback by him. He had that crowd on their feet at a historic crossover, but in the end, Will Ospreay was just too much. Hits the hidden blade twice, then the Stormbreaker, and then we all know what happened in the post-match. Kenny goddamn Omega challenges Will Ospreay for Wrestle Kingdom, so that's another one where the post-match is like a cherry on top for what was a spectacular matchup. Will Ospreay adding another great match to his IWGP United States Championship reign, and deserving of the number 8 spot. Coming in at number 7, we finally got our first match from AEW Full Gear. We got the opener AEW Full Gear main card. We had a match from 0 Hour, but we got one from the main card, and it's the opener steel cage match. Jungle Boy Jack Perry going one-on-one with his former AEW World Tag Team Championship partner, Luchasaurus. And this one was, of course, personal. The former friends turned enemies, Christian Cage, putting the wedge in this friendship, this brotherhood between Jungle Boy and Luchasaurus. I love the trash talking between the two men. Jungle Boy telling, "You were my friend," with the double sit-up attempt. Jungle Boy with such a great crimson mask. I haven't seen someone bleed this much in quite a bit, and it was caking up at points, blinding him at certain points. He fought from underneath. I thought the only nitpick that I had of the match is I didn't think the going outside the cage was exactly necessary. I know they needed to do it to get the table spot for the finishing sequence, and that cage dive was spectacular to watch, where you really didn't know if Jungle Boy was going to hit Luchasaurus or hit the table when he came down. So it was a great spot, it was a memorable cage dive from Jungle Boy that felt like they were reinvigorating Jungle Boy here, as he made Luchasaurus tap out. And I love Luchasaurus's sell of the snare trap as well. This hit all the markers. It delivered as an excellent main event, an excellent opener to Full Gear. It could have been a main event of the show. It felt that kind of like blow off of this entire rivalry, and it felt like Jungle Boy was once again felt like a hot commodity in All Elite Wrestling. Let's move on to number 6, and we go from the opener of AEW Full Gear to the main event. Coming in at number 6 is Jon Moxley, defending the AEW World Championship against Maxwell Jacob Friedman, MJF. These two men have built up a very heated rivalry with one another, and it kind of played out exactly how this rivalry has played out, with Jon Moxley not taking MJF seriously, coming out the gate at the bell and slapping him across the mouth, then just basically trying to goat him into hitting him back. MJF slaps him back, and Moxley just starts hammering home on him. And the Newark crowd added a lot to the environment, the atmosphere of this matchup, changing kind of what we thought would be kind of the format or what we know about these two characters. Jon Moxley is the everyman, while MJF is the cocky heel, but yet this Newark crowd absolutely adored MJF here. So we had a reversal of fortune where Jon Moxley embraced being the heel here and fully played into everything. They had some big spots, some big moments in this matchup. Moxley power driving MJF through a table at ringside, MJF with a tombstone on the apron, which basically became the story of the match because it became an ailment for him, and Jon Moxley worked over the knee masterfully, playing into the crowd, getting as much heat as possible to lead into an MJF comeback. But the finish reversed once again those roles, as William Regal basically told MJF to not use the Dynamite Diamond Ring, to not go against everything he said in the lead up to this match. MJF threw away the Dynamite Diamond Ring and flipped off Moxley. Moxley made MJF tap out with the Bulldog choke, but the referee was down. When William Regal tells Moxley to go over and wake the ref up, he slides in his legendary brass knuckles to MJF, and he uses it to become the youngest AEW World Champion. This was the type of like great main event that you need to solidify a new champion. You have a new guy on top, a homegrown star on top. This felt like the culmination, the coronation for MJF, and the match delivered in that part, in giving it a great setup for the final moments and seeing MJF finally raise the AEW World Championship. Let's move into the top 5, ladies and gents. Number 5, from STARDOM Gold Rush, we got Kairi getting her shot at the Wonder of Stardom Championship against Saya Kamatani. These two women have been feuding ever since Kairi returned to Stardom, and this was the big payoff. This match was delayed by a few months thanks to Kairi coming down with COVID-19 a few months back. It delayed it to this show, and it really gave this show a big kind of finale with the final 3 matches, with the big ladder match for the money ball in the main event, thus the title of the show, Gold Rush, and then 2 big title matches. First, with this one, the Wonder of Stardom Championship is the title that Kairi put on the map, so she was coming back to reclaim the title that she made. But Saya Kamatani has been having a great year. She's one of the best female high flyers in the game today, and that was kind of Kairi's calling call when she was in Stardom, making her way over to WWE. She's always been known for her great high flying, pulling out a bunch of good spots here with the double stomp to out of the Tree of War. She goes for like the insane elbow at one attempt, and Saya's able to get her feet up. Saya has a beautiful 450 splash that she calls the Firebird Splash. Only got her a near fall here. These women went at it and brought some great action, some spots on the outside, big drop kick on the stage at one point. You had German suplexes back and forth with the ladies landing very high on their neck. And for 30 minutes, these 2 women put on a show for the crowd in Japan. But in the end, it went to a 30-minute time limit draw. Thus, Saya Kamatani retains the Wonder of Stardom Championship. But this feud between Saya and Kairi is far from over, and I'm sure Kairi will get another shot, but she was pretty busy this past weekend, which we will get into. Let's move on first to number 4. Number 4, we make our way back to AEW Full Gear, and we got to talk about the Ring of Honor World Championship 4-way match as Chris Jericho defended against Bryan Danielson, Claudio Castagnoli, and Sammy Guevara. These 4 men put on, I thought this match would be great going in, no doubt. But the storytelling that was involved in this match actually elevated it to make it actually rate it higher than I thought I would rate this matchup. You had the Blackpool Combat Club guys of Claudio and Bryan going against Sammy and Jericho of the Jericho Appreciation Society in the early portion of this matchup. Once BCC was able to take care of the JAS, they went at it with each other in a great exchange of strikes and European uppercuts back and forth. Later on in the contest, they also went at it with elbow strikes to each other. But Sammy and Jericho really held this one together and really gave us the best moments of the matchup, like when Sammy pulled Jericho off of a cover of Claudio. Then later on, he saved Jericho from a double walls of Jericho, only to pick up Jericho and give him the GTH and then deliver a shooting star press to Jericho and get a near fall. In the end, Claudio went wild, hit the neutralizer on Bryan on the floor, got Sammy in the ring, got the swing going, but Jericho hits a flying Judas effect and then a regular Judas effect and retains the Ring of Honor World Championship. Such a great multi-man matchup that let everyone shine, told a great story, and it was just very effective in putting over the Ring of Honor World Championship, giving Sammy Guevara a much needed spectacular performance that he has always been known for. So checks all the boxes and definitely deserves to be number 4. Let's move on to number 3, back at New Japan Pro Wrestling X Stardom historic crossover. We got Kairi going one-on-one with Mayu Iwatani for the IWGP Women's Championship, the crowning of the inaugural champion, and these 2 women delivered in the main event spot to main event such an historic match, historic show. It felt important, and these 2 women put in the work to make it feel important and integral to watch. This felt like one of the best women's matches of the year just about 10 minutes in. You just have that feeling. The commentary did a great job of telling the story of Kairi and Mayu being 2 of the 3 daughters of Stardom with Io Shirai, and talking about how Shirai and Kairi left the company and Mayu basically had to hold the bag and hold the company together until other stars would be made, and Mayu having that resentment, pulling out that monster within her, the zombie Mayu, as they talked about on commentary. Just great little story beats that made you get more invested, had the crowd on their feet and fully into this matchup. Kairi getting the win with 2 insane elbows and becoming the inaugural IWGP Women's Championship champion. This one delivered on every sense of crowning a new champion, establishing it for the New Japan crowd as well. Love this match. Number 2, though, may be the very best women's match I have seen this year. And we go back to Stardom Gold Rush 2022, and we talk about the World of Stardom Championship match. Shuri defending against Yatami Hayashita. These two women broke the star rating in 2021 with a 5.5 star rated matchup, and they continue to deliver. Some people compare this rivalry in Japan to Omega and Okada, or Okada and Tanahashi, and you get that vibe. They feel like generational talents and generational rivals. As soon as the bell ring, you have that big fight feel, and as soon as they start touching and they get the exchanges, you're just like, is there any two better women wrestlers in the world? Hayashita has gone high on my list. The more I watch Stardom, the more I appreciate her work. But Shuri here, bringing out the hard kicks, the stiffness, the crispness, and everything she does. Hayashita is just feels like the most complete women's wrestler in the world. In the end, though, Shuri was able to kick out of the hijack bomb. She hits her big move and retains the World of Stardom Championship in just over 28 minutes. Just a whole epic main event type of matchup. And it was the semi-main event, but they delivered a main event, caliber performance by both women as Shuri retains and she moves on to verse Julia coming up at Stardom's Queendom show at the end of December. These two women deserve going out of your way to watch this match and a lot of their other matches. They just have a different level to them in a lot of ways. Comparable, if you want to compare it to North America, I would compare their rivalry to Sasha and Bayley. You know, when these two women are across from each other, they're going to deliver greatness because they have done nothing but that in the past. Coming in at number 1, though, drum roll please, if you saw the AEW Full Gear 2022 Roundtable Review, you won't be surprised. Number 1 is Death Triangle defending the AEW World Trios Championships against the Elite, Kenny Omega and the Young Bucks, making their return to AEW after a 2-month absence after the actions of themselves and CM Punk in the backstage brawl following AEW All Out, and just the reception that they got from this Newark crowd. It was a superstar entrance with Kansas Carry On My Wayward Sons bringing them to the ring, and it just had this electric feel from the very beginning. And what we got was a state-of-the-art, unreal, sensational trios match. The Young Bucks and the Lucha Bros have delivered some of the greatest tag matches of this decade, and they were going at it just so smooth. Their little exchanges with the 4-way kip up, Kenny Omega and Pac just have this insane chemistry with one another that as soon as they get in the ring, everything just seems so smooth and flawless, and everything they tried, they hit. And they hit it so good at the right time. This is so well paced. All the big spots matter. All the big spots stand out. If you're talking about the Omega Terminator drive, if you're talking about Nick Jackson with a Hurricane Rana off the top rope, Ray Phoenix getting so much hops on his dives, and then the finishing sequence, just storytelling perfection. You had Ray Phoenix all in the build-up, trying to talk to by Pac telling him you need to use the hammer so we can retain these AEW World Trios Championships. And then Phoenix being in the ring, left for dead by Kenny Omega. He hits the One Ring Angel, and then Pac, who early on in the match gave Ray Phoenix the hammer only for him to throw it back at him, and the disappointment on Pac's face. But Pac's like, no, we got to do this now. We have nothing left. He hands Phoenix the hammer, and Phoenix, a man that has lost to Kenny Omega on so many occasions, one-on-one, tag team matches, trios matches, he finally pins Kenny Omega for the first time of them going one-on-one, them being in the ring against each other. This is the first time Ray Phoenix gets the 1-2-3 on Kenny Omega after using the hammer when Omega had him up for the One Ring Angel. The timing, this is perfection. This is the best AEW match of the year. one of the best trio matches in wrestling history, and by far the number one best match of AEW Full Gear Weekend. So that's the list. That's the list of the best matches from AEW Full Gear Weekend. But that's my list. My list is not the list. That's just my opinion. I want to hear your opinion, whether it's in the premiere, in the live chat, or especially, please, in the comments down below. Let me know what you thought was the best match from all these shows, from AEW Full Gear, from Stardom Gold Rush 2022, from NJPW X Stardom Historic Crossover, GCW Aura, which I wasn't able to put any matches on this list, Impact Overdrive that had our number 9 spot, AEW Rampage and SmackDown from Friday night. If you thought I missed a match or I didn't mention it in the honorable mentions or in our top 10, let me know in the comments down below. I will definitely reply back and we can interact and talk about it. But check out all the great content that we have here on the True Heel Heat YouTube channel. Check out our WWE Survivor Series War Games preview with myself and Romeo, breaking down the card, giving our predictions for this Saturday's show. Speaking of Saturday, you got True Heel Heat 202 with Dedrin of House of Wrestling joining us at 11:05 a.m. Eastern Time. Myself and Miss Chrissy Love talking about this week of wrestling, talking about all the shows that we talked about on this list, as well as final preview for Survivor Series War Games. And then we got the Survivor Series War Games watch along 8 p.m. Eastern Time on Saturday. But before Saturday comes, tomorrow, 1:05 p.m. Eastern Time, you got AE Ramble number 69 with myself and Jimmy Magaram at 1:05 p.m. Eastern Time. So join us for that one. Want to thank you all for joining us. Follow me on the Twitter machine at TrueHillSP3. Follow the gang, Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at True Hill Heat. For more lists, check out the countdown and all our exclusive content. Patreon.com/True Hill Heat. Just $3 a month for even more True Hill Heat content. And I'll see you all tomorrow on AE Ramble. It is me, your True Hill Phenom, SP3. This has been the top 10 best matches of AEW Full Gear Weekend. We are signing off until